This video is intended to communicate how to edit and add equipment to client sites in Wensoft. And I'm starting out on the equipment master window. If you don't know how to get to this window, just ask someone. There's a million ways to get to this one place. I'm starting out with a sample site. It's really mostly test information in here. The equipment ID number is indicated right up here. You can toggle across the equipment, the different pieces of equipment for the site. And we'll start out with number one. Number one is, again, most of this equipment has been entered in some sort of a test environment. So the information is bogus, and we're going to presume that we're intending to change it all. So this is how you would edit a piece of equipment number one. You can see that this one isn't changeable. It exists here. And once it exists, this piece can be deleted easily enough, and a new number one can be added. But once it's been created, the actual number itself can't be edited. So if you were to go and clear this, it would give you a default new number that you could add. But once it's been added, that number is hard-coded into Wensoft. Equipment type. I'm going to change this to RTU. Now, Tradewinds doesn't have any rooftops on their building, but to demonstrate how you do this, you basically just enter it in. There is a lookup here. The lookup provides you a list of information that's been entered and added as time has gone on. Currently, this list is requiring cleanup. It's out of control. There should be a limited list. That list is going to be limited to this list right here. These are the codes on the left, and I've got, where required, a description of what the code means. So this is the list the technicians will be using. They have a pick box, and these are the only choices they have. This is going to allow tighter filtering for our customers and allow us to separate refrigeration from air conditioning equipment. Very quickly, RTU for a rooftop, AHU air handler, condensing unit heat pump, exhaust fan, water source heat pump, which we don't see a ton of, but there are out there. Makeup air unit. You'll see these on restaurants or places where there's commercial kitchen ventilation equipment. Freezer, cooler, VAV, radiant heater, and then generically, other heat, other cool, and other refrigeration. These are what we want to limit the database to ultimately. This is the goal. I'm going to move this back out of the way. I know that my viewing area is smaller than my entire screen, and the reason for that is so that you get a maximum resolution while still being able to see a half-decent size of real estate. So the equipment master window should fill the screen out at this point, and as I had changed the equipment type, I can change the manufacturer by entering in a new manufacturer. I can enter the model number in here. 48HJE012643. Now, with model numbers like the one I just entered, which is really a carrier number, there's really no issues with how long these numbers are. However, with some of the train model numbers, the numbers get to be exceedingly long, and the reason for that is because they have a number or a suffix for a model number for every conceivable option. Sometimes those model numbers can get, and they're printed on the equipment tag, and those numbers can get large. If you limit it to 10 digits, you're going to have a reasonable model number. So if you do run into one that's exceedingly long, it's not necessary that we capture that entire number. If it's in there, that's fine. Serial number. These basically you want to enter them as they appear already. Now, typically, if you're entering a serial number, it's because you're copying it from something. For the most part, technicians are going to be entering these through WebTech to appear in this field here. Those are the only 4 fields we need to enter on this first tab, main fields. From there, we go to additional fields. It's going to prompt you to save. Yes, you want to save the changes you just made. Drag this back down in here. So now you're a manufacturer, self-explanatory. Size in tons. You don't need to write tons. You can put just the number. Catalog number, this is for Lennox equipment. Lennox LG units, LGA and LGC, have a catalog number. This is very important in order to source certain parts. In fact, most parts. Location of the equipment, where is it located? and then finally, what's it serving? The intent here is not to write a book or have a very long description, but very simply, office, sales, stockroom, lab. There's probably the limited choices that we'd have. There's really no need to be, maybe basement, maybe loading dock, but typically very generic. And toggling back to the main field, you'll be asked to save again. And that's really all there is to it to edit a piece of equipment. Replacement parts for the piece of equipment you're on are located under replacement parts. This is where you will see things such as belts and filters listed. I'm not going to get into the details of that during this short video. I'm going to toggle to the next piece of equipment. Number 2 is another rooftop unit carrier. Now, if you're happy, you got pieces of equipment 1 and 2, and you're good to go, and now you want to put in a new unit that you don't want to edit, you simply hit clear, select the number you're looking for. Let's say in this case I want to put in 03. In fact, 03 already exists. So what happens is it'll bring you to that piece of equipment if you try and put one in. So we had 2 and 1. I was going to put in a new one, but 3 already existed. So I'm just going to toggle up here. I see 6, 7, 8, 23, and 99. Again, these numbers are really a result of testing, and that's why they're not real organized. But I'm going to put in number 4. So I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to enter in 04. Technicians are required to enter a 2-digit number and are not allowed to enter a number that already exists. Equipment type, you just start from scratch. RTU, serial number, and the manufacturer ID, model number. Toggle to additional fields, year of manufacture, size in tons, catalog number if it's an LG, it's not, location, roof, area served, stock room. Save, and that's it. So the idea here is to make sure that our ID numbers are matching up with the proper pieces of equipment. If they're not, they need to be edited. They need to be fixed. If you've got a large amount of a certain type of a piece of equipment that you're seeing under a customer, for example, if you're looking at a customer account in mass and you see that they've got 300 pieces of equipment that are listed as RTU1 as opposed to RTU, we can make a bulk change in SQL as opposed to having you have to toggle through. In fact, if there's only 20, we can go into SQL and write an update statement that makes it easier. If you have any questions, please just ask. Thank you.